Hi, it's Mike.
And this is Fran.
And this is Mike and Fran Unrehearsed, episode 33. Hey, how's everyone doing? Hope you're doing good and enjoying this spring weather that's coming around. Hey, we had a couple days of spring a couple days ago. Sooner or later, it'll be 75 degrees every day. How about that? That's right.
It's cold today. Want to bet?
You're listening to 216 The Net, Mike and Fran Unrehearsed on 216 The Net. That's real life internet radio at 12 o'clock noon on Wednesdays. As a reminder, we're also on Radio Garden at 12 o'clock noon on 216 The Net. And guess what? We have a real exciting new format for you guys. It's a brand new podcast where you can listen to every one of our shows that's going to be archived on anchor.fm. And I want to recommend you guys to check it out, because if you have a podcast or an idea for a podcast, you can go to anchor.fm. So this is where I want you to go, because last week we had a little bit of a problem. We started off with episode 30, and about 4 minutes into it, we got to episode 32. And so at the end, right at 12:30, it cut it off. So you missed about 4 minutes of episode 32. And I really wanted you guys to hear it, because we kind of summed up what was going on. We got all the material from Catherine, from your mom and your dad, and we kind of summed it up really nice it's like really nice to get those kind of things from your family, and they're priceless. And some of the things we got were really unique, and they're going to be appreciated for a very long time now that we have them, and we know we have them, and we can show them to other people. So it's really great. And so what I want you to do is to listen to the rest of the show. That's episode 32. Go to www.anchor.fm/Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. Okay? And all our shows will be there from show 1 to 32. But listen to 32 in its entirety, and I think you'll really appreciate it. So where are you going to go? You're going to go to www.anchor.fm/Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. And I also want to tell you, there's a little baby commercial on anchor.fm that you kind of do before the show, and it will tell you exactly what you need to do to have your own podcast. So if you've got some recipes you want to share, if you got some stories you want to share, if you want to have some people call in and have some conversations on the phone and record it and go live with it, you can do all that. You can do amazing things with podcasts these days, as you all know. So that website, one more time, is www.anchor.fm/Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. Check it out and let us know. Give us an email, mikeandfranunrehearsed@gmail.com. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, folks, so last week we made a couple of mistakes. All right, 4 mistakes. But, we're going to correct them right now so that we
Got
get
my
it straight
sister's
out.
names mixed up.
Well, I know.
Okay, go ahead.
It's easy to do. Donna, Nancy,
Your
Donna.
aunts.
Come on, they're about the same length. No, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm trying to backpedal, Mom. I'm backpedaling because I blew it. Okay, so we're talking about my Aunt Nancy in Oregon moving in with Catherine probably and Warren sometime this summer. In fact, we are going to be going out there in June to help out and facilitate and visit some folks and do some things that we haven't done in a while. And we'll go into that a little bit later, because we've always had so much fun going to Oregon. But when was the last time we were there? It's been quite a while now.
2019.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 20 years.
No.
2019. Okay, so
We
that's
didn't
3
go
years ago.
2020,
Well,
but
that was
we went the year
before
before.
we would have maybe gone in 2021, but COVID and everything. So who
This
knows?
is 21.
I don't know. Well, we are going to go. Okay, we are going to go, but it won't be like a regular trip, and we'll go over some of the things that we usually do when we go out there. We do a lot of things. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, I'm sort of getting lost here. The point is, it's last week I said, and we're going to help Aunt Donna move out of her house and in with the home with Catherine and Warren. And it was Aunt Nancy. Aunt Donna is in Portland with Cindy, and they're staying there. They're not going anywhere. It's Aunt Nancy that's moving. So sorry about that. I made a mistake. No big deal, right? Anyway, I wanted to just clarify. The other thing was, since Mom is the eldest of the family, I called her the oldest. I said, well, since you're the oldest, you should be getting all these things from your mom.
Well,
in
properly
the
you
boxes.
should say the eldest.
No. What's the law or the rule
I
on that?
can't remember
What do you
the
think?
rule exactly, but when you're talking about more than two, it's eldest.
More than two?
You could be older than one, but if you're from a group, you're the eldest.
Okay, so I'm talking about a group of 6 children.
I'm the eldest.
And if you're the oldest
I'm
out of
the
6,
eldest.
I could say you're the eldest. I say
That
you're
is
the
correct,
eldest.
yes.
So if you were just the only child, well, I mean,
I would be older than my brother or sister
2.
one, yeah.
So I don't understand. If it's 2, it's older, and if it's more than 2, it's
Eldest.
Eldest.
Elder.
Okay. Okay. So I didn't get that right. Anyway, we're gonna have an English lesson later on, and it's gonna be a test. So get ready. All right. The other thing that Mom said that I thought was kind of funny was we talked about my grandfather and some of the things that he did. God bless him. He was. He was in the Air Force.
Pilot in World War One.
Pilot in World War One before we even had an Air Force in the U.S.
Yeah, and we likened him to
the French Navy or the French Air Force. What do I say?
No, he went into Toronto, Canada.
He went in through Canada
and went under during the Canadian, American, British. It was before the United States even had.
Was he on the French side then, or the Canadian side?
They were together.
Yeah.
They were together. We went to help France in World War One.
And he went as a pilot from Canada.
That is correct, from Toronto.
Right. And
in the 22nd Aero Squadron, which is a defunct, it's not now, but the first group we ever sent over.
Yeah, which is really cool. But when Mom was describing him, she said he was kind of like the Red Baron.
I meant Red Baron.
I don't know why she said
Because
that.
we have a picture of him in front of the mono-wing plane with the leather long coat on with the belt and the spats and the high boots.
The Red Baron.
Yeah, the Red Baron.
Just like the Red Baron. You all remember the Red Baron?
And when we played it back, I said, "What's that?"
What's that? Yeah,
Red Baron.
It just came out a little funny.
Okay, you have one more
there's
correction.
one more. Okay, Warren. Actually, he married Catherine, my cousin. He's a great guy. Plays guitar, and we jam sometimes. And I can't wait to see him and hang out and do some fun things, and talk about some of the things that he did. He worked for. You said it was.
He was
Nixon.
a page.
Now he was a page, or what did he do there?
He was a page in Congress, Congress, but he wasn't during the Nixon. He was during the Carter administration.
And what does a page do, you think?
I don't know. They run errands.
Run errands.
Little assistant
Get lunch.
people.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? So it was for Carter, not Nixon.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Jimmy Carter. Not Richard Nixon.
No, nada.
Okay. All right, so we got that straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're good to go? So now we can officially start episode 33. Are you ready?
Please do.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Oregon and some of the trips here. I'll give you your notes if you want. Some of the trips that we've made to Oregon are sort of doing some of the same things that we've done for a long time. And now, how long have we been going to Oregon on a regular basis, you and I? I mean, probably for the last 10 years or so. I don't know. What do you think?
You and I have been going out for the last 10 years, but the whole family used to go out, all the kids, and Jim and I. We would go out about every 3 years, but we went to New Jersey every year, 2 or 3 times a year. But it was a much longer trip to Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
And we would drive out usually and drive through Fort Bridger, where my grandfather stopped with the wagon trains from Kentucky out to Oregon in the 1840s, I think it was.
Wow.
And we'd always go through Idaho. I remember I have a granddaughter now in Boise, and we would drive through Boise, Pocatello.
Yeah.
And anyway, we went out by train once. Now, you're probably too young to remember much. We had a suite on the Portland Rose, and it was great. Had that Vista Dome that you could go sit and look and lamp around. You kids were crazy about it. I believe that Lisa was the youngest. I don't think Vince was born yet, Vincent. But we used to go out all the time.
Wow.
And you kids loved it.
Well, I think we only went once on the train. I mean,
Once on the train.
I mean, I would have remembered if we'd gone more than
But these were city kids going to the country.
Yeah.
They had never ridden horses. And
No.
Wanda, my sister-in-law then, took us around the circle, the kids riding on horses. And we went, going to the ocean was great. Going to the Oregon coast, which is the mountains going right down to the ocean.
Beautiful country out there.
And we used to go to the Sea Lion Caves.
Right.
And which is great. There's a big souvenir store up on top, restaurant. Then you go down inside the cave. And the big thing is you see the sea lions, but the odor is just horrendous.
Yeah.
They are the smelliest creatures.
It's an odd thing. I don't know what that is, but I remember it a little bit there, but I remember it more when I used to go to San Francisco for training when I was a manufacturer's rep for like some of those companies in Cupertino, like Apple and Symantec and Adobe and stuff like that. So, every year or so we would go out there for a new product training and we'd stay in San Francisco. And a lot of people have never been to San Francisco before, and we would go, to the Garibaldi, the chocolate place, and go to the what do you go to, like the sea lions they have out there,
And they were smelly.
and they were wicked bad.
Odorous.
Fisherman's Wharf, you go there, you have, what do you get? What does everybody have to get when they go to San Francisco? They get that creamy white clam chowder, and it's inside of a sourdough bread. They cut out the middle of it.
Well,
right?
when we
Right?
went...
New England style clam chowder.
Well,
and
when we went to
sourdough-
the Oregon
sourdough
coast,
bread.
too, that was one of the places to get the most marvelous, that white, creamy...
Well, I think that place was Moe's, wasn't it?
Moe's,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mother, they drive down sometimes an hour and a half to go to Moe's down on the coast
Yeah.
and have the clam chowder. But the kids also, we went whitewater rafting on the Deschutes River in eastern Oregon, and they loved that. They had to take us out and train us for quite a while to teach the kids. We did it in two great big boats or rubber tube things.
Well, you had to know what you're doing to go out there.
And my brother-in-law, who was a son-in-law rather,
Your
John,
son-in-law.
who was 6'4",
Wow.
he was the only one that fell out,
I
and the
remember
rest of us made it great.
Yeah, well, he was in the front too, and that's where you
Yes,
get all the
yes.
action. And he's a pretty long and lengthy guy, so.
But when we went to Oregon, we also enjoyed much. We had a lake behind our house, and my grandfather or my mother would take you kids out in the rowboat. You loved that. And you loved riding on the big truck with Grandpa driving. He drove like a bat out of hell, and you kids were little city kids.
Right.
You had never been in country like that.
No.
And you couldn't even stand up in the back of that truck. And I'd say, Dad, you're killing my kids. You'd be falling all over and floundering. He'd take off right across the field.
Well, we didn't even know what we were doing. It's like, get in the truck, and it's like a cab, and it's like room for 3 people. Well, how are we
No,
going to
you
fit
were
in
on
there?
the back, standing.
Well, we didn't know that as a kid. He says, no, get in the back. And then we'll go, okay, you're going to drive like this? It's like, okay.
Well, he drove across the fields. He didn't even take the roads.
No.
But the greatest thing you liked the most was picking cherries.
Oh, yeah.
Every one of you remembered picking cherries.
Yeah.
Putting a ladder up. It wasn't the real tall ladder.
We have some film of that. I know we do.
Oh, you loved it. Eating them and, picking cherries was just a delight.
Yes, it was.
Because my sister and I used to be the cherry toppers. We had the big fields, and we had workers come in to pick it. And she and I were always paid by the hour to skedaddle up a 20-foot ladder, climb in the top of the tree, pull the branches down, hook our bucket on a limb, and hang on by our feet and pick cherries.
Wow.
We were the cherry toppers.
Wow.
Because most people wouldn't go up there on the top of those
So you
trees.
have to be like little monkeys to do
So
that.
we were.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Wow.
So we enjoyed, you kids, so much going to Oregon because there was so much to do. I think we went up to the fairgrounds. I think we drove around the University of Oregon campus to appease me.
Right.
And no, it was just fun.
Yeah, and I remember I don't remember doing much fishing or anything, but we always heard about stories
Oh, that's where you always
of
want to
lead
do.
fishing and people going out deep sea fishing. So one of these days, I want to go deep sea fishing with either Uncle Lee or with.
You'd like
I
to.
mean, it was Gail Keffer, and when we go to Eastern Oregon now, when we go to all the cemeteries up there where your mother's family lived, right? Mm-hmm. And
in La Grande Enterprise, Blue
That's right.
Mountains area.
that's right. We go up the Columbia River Gorge, about 5 hour drive. Mm-hmm. And I've driven up there, but most of the time now Uncle Lee drives, and I don't have to drive. But when I drive and follow in another car, I remember we would play the harmonica and sing songs in the car and have all kind of fun. And then we would come back like 2 years later, and people would go, "Hey, those people with the harmonicas are over here again. Let's listen. What are you going to play?"
Yes, they
I'm
remembered.
like, man, you guys need to get a life.
When we were staying at a motel once, you were outside in front with a big crowd. Everybody was circled around you while
Yeah.
you were playing the harmonica.
Yeah, and all we're like, something like.
A little outside concert.
What were we playing? We were playing like "Oh My Darling, Oh My
I know.
Darling." Na, na, na,
Oh,
na,
Clementine, yeah.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
playing that
yeah.
Clementine song, and we had a lot of fun. But I do remember sometimes that we took the big station wagon out there, and we went by the volcanic rock.
Oh, that's
Mount
right.
St. Helens.
We went up to the top in the Cascades where they had the rock, the Vista House up at the top.
That wasn't
Yeah.
that Mount St. Helens? No. Was that Mount St. Helens? No.
Oh no, Mount St. Helens is above Washington.
It was the
It's-
Cascades.
Yeah, it was in the Cascades
That's right.
on the
That's
way
right.
when we were going to Bend.
And we'd climb all the way up, and then
On the
there's
big
vistas,
lava
and you
bed.
could see the two sisters.
It had a
and-
Vista House
yeah,
up there.
and Mount
Yes.
Hood and all that you can see.
That's right.
And then you would put rocks in the car, and then Dad get in the car, and the hood would be sticking in the air, and he was like,
Oh,
"What the
yeah.
hell's the matter with
Yeah.
my car?"
Yeah.
And there'd be rocks in the back.
Well, I wasn't supposed to be doing that, but whenever we come to a place, I'd sneak a rock in the back.
yeah.
And because I'd want to bring it home. And he said one time, "Why is a car listing and one side's higher than the other?" So he made me dump out a lot of the big rocks. But I always
You
managed to
brought
get
a few home.
home.
I'm sure they're probably
Yep.
still over there. I mean, who knows?
Yep.
Who knows? I remember doing that, and then I remember going through like a frontier town, and we dressed up in some silly kind of clothes and took some pictures. Did
Well,
we do that?
over-
Was that an Amish thing we went through, or no?
No, this was in Bend. In Bend in Eastern Oregon, they have a pioneer museum.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can see the ruts of the wagon trains going down the hill there. And one of the best there is, I think that's out of Bend, in the Pioneer Museum.
That's right. That's right.
And we took you kids there only once. Wish I would have gone more than once. Yeah.
Hmm. Well,
But
that
we
was
always
great.
enjoyed going out
Yeah, it was great.
to Oregon. And we also enjoyed going to New Jersey. We went there all the time.
Well, we would go there for Christmas and for summer sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 'cause it was a lot closer. But that's probably why we went to New Jersey more often.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it was more kind of summer things to do. I mean, in
Yeah.
Oregon, it was interesting, but I mean, we didn't go to a beach. The beach is so different in Oregon than going to the beach on the East Coast.
we used to go-
So in Oregon, it's either the beach or the ocean or I don't know what it is.
Well, the mountain
But-
comes down and there isn't any
But
big
in Jersey,
beaches.
it's the shore. The
That's
shore,
right, that's
the
right.
seashore.
Yeah, in Jersey, you go to the coast and
No. Oregon, you go to the coast. Jersey, you go to the shore.
Right.
And it'll never change.
Right.
But you go to the Jersey Shore, and it's like a bathtub. You could go walk out a half a mile in low tide, and it's right up to here, and it's just beautiful.
the Oregon coast is more chilly and cool.
Yeah.
When it's warm in Eugene or Portland, it's always like 20 degrees lower at the coast.
Oh yeah.
Now, we also went down to Hasita Head, which is past the seal place.
Sea Lion
And
Cave.
we celebrated Lori's 16th
Yeah.
birthday there.
Yeah,
Wanda
yeah.
made a cake.
I
She was
remember.
excellent at making cakes.
I remember.
So we celebrated a birthday
We've
there.
got pictures of that somewhere.
And when we were there, back in 2019, we had to go up to that coast to see where we celebrated Lori's birthday.
That's right.
Yep.
We did. That was great.
Yeah, she's my daughter that was hit by the drunken driver in Las Vegas in 1982. And
I remember.
we have sweet memories of Lori.
We sure do. We sure do. All right, Mom. So here's a good question. Now that you've got your second COVID-19 shot from Pfizer.
And 2 weeks after.
Well, that would have been April 14th was our date. So I guess we can go 6 months from there and be okay. But we still got to wear a mask when we go out. So now that you've got your 2 shots, are you going out more and having some fun? Or what are you doing?
No, we celebrated by going to a wake.
Well,
that's the first time.
Let's just say we celebrated by being with some people we haven't seen in a while. And it happened to be at a wake. Okay.
Well, it was a wake.
Okay. Yeah, it was.
And other than that,
we did that.
This has been like doctor week.
Well, this week.
Wednesday we went to the doctor for a blood test. Thursday we went to the doctor for the readout on it. And don't, when you go in, circle big, you have a cough. I have an allergy.
Yeah.
I have an allergy almost all of the time. And it's been bad when the buds and things are coming out. And if you have a cough, you have to go sit in the car until they call you.
I know.
But anyway,
you never learn. Never learn. We went in there for a blood test, and they're going, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have this? Do you have a cough? Yes, I have a little cough. And then she looks at that and she goes, you have a cough? Yeah. Well, what kind of cough? Well, just a regular cough.
I have an allergy.
But I have a cough. Oh, I'm sorry. And it was a new girl. And she's like, I think they got to do something. I go, what? We're not going to be able to get the blood test now?
No, I had to go sit in the car.
What's going on? You know? Oh, well, you have to probably, let me see here.
They were doing what they felt was best.
It was a new girl, and I have no patience for new girls in the doctor's office. The old girl is sitting right there, and they let the new girl stumble and fall on her head and tumble over upside down. Yeah. Right in front of us, right in front of our eyes.
You are too crabby
when
on
she
that.
could have just said, "Oh, here, you guys just do this." And right. No, she had to wait until she's like grasping at straws, and then she goes, "Oh, okay." You know, she's listening the whole time.
Things don't always run that smoothly, Michael.
So she should have just said,
"There's little bumps in the road." She should have
just said, "Hey, you guys just have to wait in the car, then we'll call you."
And then,
okay, I said, "Fine, just tell me what to do," because she's like floundering over there.
Then the next day we went to get the toenails trimmed
No.
trimmed.
So we had the blood test, and the next day we had the results, and the results were great. And when our doctor came in walking on air, she was just so happy that all your numbers are looking good, and she kind of likes to take credit for that a little bit, and the fact that we're sticking to a very strict diet. And she would tell me, "You're very good. You're doing just a good job for your mom by the diet." Well, it's more than the diet, because we're on these little, natural remedies from India, from this this place that I found that's been doing this since 1937.
For the kidneys.
And I called the people that have been taking it, and it's been working wonders for them. And I'm so glad that it's a doctor in India, because they have a lot less money when you think about all the masses of people that have kidney problems. And so they've come with this Ayurvedic sort of method to help the kidneys cure themselves. Because if you think about a transplant or dialysis or something, that's just way too expensive for anybody, really, but especially for people in India. And that's where this kind of came from. So it has proof, and it's been around a long time, and fingers crossed, all your numbers are going to come around. We're only about 45 days into it, and it's going to go on for about 10 months. So I can't wait until that whole 10 months goes by, and we go to the doctor, and she's like, "It's a miracle." And I'm like, well,
thank you.
I made that miracle happen. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, then the next day, we got the toenails cut.
Yeah.
Then went to the cardiologist, got a good report.
Yeah.
So all I can say is my getting out is going to doctors.
Well, the way I figure it is, if we're already out, we might as well, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Go to maybe a couple doctors if we can. If we can, that way we don't have to always be going out.
When you go to a doctor tomorrow for your ear ringing in your ears.
I got this weird ringing in the ear every once in a while. You know when you wake up in the bed in the morning and it's this peace of quiet, you can hear a pin drop, and you just listen, and it's this little bit of a sort of a, I don't know, if you clench your teeth and then press your teeth together a little harder, I get this little sense of something in my ear. I don't know what it is. It's very hard to describe. It's not a hissing. It's not a whining. It's not a popping. It's not any of that. It's just, try that. Just clench your teeth and then press down a little harder, and you hear something in your ear a little bit.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it is, but it's always kind of there. But sometimes it's not noticeable at all, and sometimes it's more noticeable. So it's not at a point where it's bothering me, where I'm really having trouble concentrating or anything like that.
Do they call that tinnitus?
They call it tinnitus or tinnitus or whatever. I don't know. Most people call it tinnitus.
Well, you have a doctor, a lady friend, who says technically it's tinnitus.
Jana said it was tinnitus.
Yeah, and we call it tinnitus.
And the doctor even said, tinnitus. Yeah, well, I don't know what you call it. I'm like, whatever it is, what do I do? And then they'll say, well, there's no cure. There's like the first thing they say. And I'm like, thanks a lot for that.
Wow.
Thanks a lot. There's no cure. So you're going to have this ringing in your ear the whole rest of your life? Mm-hmm. I don't want that. I don't want that.
I hope you don't have to have
So anyway, since I might be driving up to Mayo Clinic with Jana for her problem that she's having right now, the blood clotting issues, I went online and I set up a phone interview to talk to somebody at Mayo for my ringing in the ear. I mean, I don't know. I mean, supposedly Mayo is hooked up with all of these other, international physicians with specialties in certain areas, and they could maybe help me out.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Who knows? Mm-hmm. Who knows? But it's worth a try.
All right.
Do you want to come to Mayo with us?
I don't know.
Maybe we can look at something? I don't know.
No.
You doing good?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Well, I have a question for you, Michael. Inquiring about people going on vacations. What tips do you have for, regarding to car rental?
Oh, well, since I recently had my car worked on and it was in the shop for about 30 days, I have auto coverage, I have all that kind of stuff. I have towing and all that. But you have to be very careful on that number that you have for your car rental. Mine was $40. And I go to the rental guys and they're like, yeah, this one's 40, that one's 40. They're all pretty much 40. I'm like, well, that's what I got, 40. So I'm covered, right? Wrong. Okay, I get a bill for $330 at the end of the whole thing. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Well, let me look into it. Apparently, it was actually, $43.95 or something like that for the car. So that's $395 times 30. So I'm paying that. And then the tax I'm paying too, if you could believe that. So I'm paying another $300, almost $400.
Yeah.
So if you have car rental coverage and you get into an accident, make sure that the car rental coverage is going to actually cover the cost of the car. Because in my case, it covered most of it, but I still had to pay the extra $3.95 plus the tax. And I'm like, you got to be kidding. I mean, no one ever told me that. Well, it's in your policy. I'm like, forget this guy. I don't know. That's just not right, in my opinion.
Just don't have accidents.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
It's okay.
Hey, accidents happen.
That's your mother talking.
Yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I'm going to be a much safer driver now because of that. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, that's about it for us for this week. But I want to remind you, if you want to listen to episode 32 from last week in its entirety, go to www.anchor.fm/Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. Okay? And you could listen to every single show because they're all going to be archived on there. And you know what? You too can have a podcast. So I want to hear about that. Give me some emails, guys. Mike and Fran Unrehearsed @gmail.com. Can't wait to hear from you.